guys, it's Mrs. Wine and welcome back to art class. Today we're going to talk about how to cut out our discs, slot them, and put them together to build our sculptures. So today you will need your thick sheet of paper with your discs, you will need a pair of scissors, and you might also need some tape to help you put them together. So let's get started. When I am cutting out circles or anything with a curved line, one thing that I find helps me is before I start trying to cut the circles, I simply cut the shapes apart from each other. So the first thing I would recommend you do is cut your circles apart from each other. That'll make it easier to cut. Then, when I'm cutting, one thing you'll notice that I do is instead of turning my scissors, I simply just rotate my paper around as I cut it. All the way around. So you want to work to cut really slowly and carefully. You really want to try to keep those edges as smooth as you can. And then you want to go ahead and cut out all of your circles. So to save time today, I'm just going to demonstrate cutting out a couple of them. So again, you'll notice that I'm not twisting my hand with the scissors all the way around. I just take the circle and I rotate it around as I cut. So then, once you're finished cutting out all of your circles, you're ready to cut the slots and build your sculpture. So remember, a slot is just a little tiny cut that you're going to make into the edge of the circle. I'm not cutting any pieces out. I'm just making a tiny little cut in the edge of the circle. The other thing that you will notice is that when I'm creating these cuts, I don't want to put 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts right together. I'm trying to spread them out. I have one at the bottom, one at the top, one on one side, and one on the other side. So if you're doing 4 cuts, that's the way you can do it. If you're doing 3 cuts, you could do 1 at the bottom and 2 at the top, almost like it's part of the letter Y. Once you have cut the slots into all of your discs, you're ready to put them together. Now, what you want to do is you want to find the part where you have cut the 2 slots. You're going to line those 2 slots up together, and you're going to slide those sculptures, slide those discs all the way together. So they should slide in pretty far. Okay, now sometimes depending on how thick your paper is, you might find it tricky because sometimes as you start to build, the paper just collapses and then it's flat and it's not a sculpture. So if that happens, try not to get frustrated or don't get frustrated. You really just want to keep lining up the shapes, putting them down. Okay, one thing you might want to do that might be helpful, once you know how you're going to build the sculpture, you could take a little bit of tape and you could put a little bit of clear tape to help keep that from sliding. Or another suggestion would be to take this paper, if it's not thick enough, you could actually cut out an extra circle and tape or staple or glue some of these together to help them stand, Or you could even cut out additional circles from something like a recycled tissue box, and you could glue these to the tissue box, and that would give you a paper that's a little bit thicker. I think a lot of times just a little piece of tape helps hold that disc in place and makes it a little more sturdy. Don't forget, when you're finished building your entire sculpture, I want you to take at least 2 pictures. So you want to take a picture from one angle and then either walk around to a different side or turn the sculpture over and take a picture from a different angle. If you have any questions this week, you can meet me on Zoom Monday through Friday from 2 until 2:20, and I will help answer your questions. Until then, I hope you have fun cutting out and building your sculptures. I can't wait to see the finished product. And don't forget, as always, keep on creating.